Hello, my name's Linda Dolke. Welcome to my craft room. I'm a demonstrator for Stampin'Up here in Australia, and today we are making a very cute Christmas diorama card. The Christmas diorama card I've made this time, I have done one before, is made with the Carols of Christmas stamp and framelit bundle. So sit back and enjoy. I think you'll really like it. I've made a few little alterations from the first time that I did this, but if you'd like to see the other one, that was done in November 2014, and I'll put the link to that down in the comments. Watch the video, and I hope you have a go at making one for yourself. So today we're making a diorama card, and this is a Christmas theme one. I have actually done another Christmas diorama tutorial a couple of years back, and I'll pop the link for that one if you're interested in the comments below. But the one I'm wanting to do today is a really simple version of that. So similar measurements, I've tweaked it just a tiny little bit, but you'll find it's almost the same. And the good thing about this card is it does fold flat if you want to mail it. You would need a longer envelope, however, but it is the same width as a normal card, and you'll just need an envelope that's a little longer. If you have an envelope punch board, you could make your own if you wished. Otherwise, it's not that hard to find longer envelopes around. So what I'm going to do is just explain how this one goes together really simply, but I wanted to show you the set that I'm using. This is called Carols of Christmas, and it's from Stampin'Up and available from tomorrow, the 1st of August, ahead. It's an early release ahead of the beautiful catalogue, the holiday catalogue that will be coming out on the 1st of September. So right now you can't get anything out of this one until the 1st of September. I can show you the cover though, isn't it beautiful? Really, I can promise you there's a gorgeous bunch of things in there, and you'll see me popping those up on my blog, lots of different samples out of there all month long ahead of the release on the 1st of September. This one, however, they've released early, the 1st of August, so as of tomorrow you'll be able to get it. And if you are ordering this through my online store, I have a little special for people who are in Australia and ordering this through my particular store. So that's just my own special, not a Stampin' Up special. This card though came together, it's just made of 3 layers. So I'm actually going to do it slightly different to this one. So the one I've used here is silver glimmer paper with the blue, which I thought looked quite nice, but just for a variation today I'm actually using the Dazzling Diamonds glimmer paper, which will give us a slightly different look. Okay, so I'll just explain the size of the papers really quickly. Oh, and very quickly, any set you have can be used to make a diorama card, but I'm always looking for sets that I can create scenery with. So if I can create a scene out of it, then it's going to be great for a diorama, and I'll show you exactly what I mean with the framelits that cut out those lovely trees. You're going to need 3 pieces of paper for your base. Okay, the front piece I've made with Soft Sky. You could stick with any colour you like, it doesn't really matter. I was thinking it would even look nice with like Night of Navy or something like that. I am going with a blue theme. Blue is my favourite colour and I do use it a lot. For the centre piece I have used Dazzling Diamonds Glimmer, and then for the back piece I have used Whisper White Thick. Okay, I think the thin is a little too thin, and I think if you want to give your card a bit more stability, you want to go with a slightly thicker cardstock. So the normal Whisper White will still work, but I just really like the stability that this gives my card. Okay, so this piece, I've measured my pieces. In Australia, we use A4 cardstock, the same as the European ladies, or sorry, I shouldn't say ladies, European crafters, I beg your pardon, boys. It's 10.5 centimetres wide, which is half a piece of A4. So if you're in America or somewhere where you don't use A4 sizing and you use letter sizing, you're going to go with half of whatever your piece is. I think it's like 4¼ inches or thereabouts, but it really doesn't matter too much because it's not the width that will make the big difference, it's actually the length. So the length needs to be 9.5 inches. Yes, I am going to inches. I just find it easier to work with. And most crafters I find seem to go between inches and centimetres quite well. So on my trimmer, I've got my Stampin' Up trimmer here, and I have measured this to be 9.5 by half a width of cardstock, which in my case is 10.5 centimetres. Okay, then I'm doing the backing piece, the white, exactly the same length, so that's also 9.5. So these two are identical in size. Okay, the front and the back, and then the in-between piece, the same width again, but it is only 7.5 inches long. Okay, so it's 2 inches shorter than the other at the front and the back. Right, then once you've got those 3 pieces measured, you're going to go ahead and you're going to score. I'm just using my trimmer to score, but you can use any scoring tool. In my other video I did use the Simply Scored by Stampin'Up, but today I'm using my trimmer, and I'm just going to trim it at the 2 inches from the end, and I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to do 2 inches from the other end, which I actually cheated. I did that a little bit earlier. So now I've got a score line 2 inches from each end, and the back piece, the white, I'm going to do that exactly the same. So 2 inches, turn it around and do 2 inches, and don't be tempted to use your cutting blade instead of your scoring blade for obvious reasons. I've done that before. Now I'm going to be scoring the centerpiece at 1 inch from each end, and when you're using glimmer paper it scores quite well, but you'll need to turn it over and score on the reverse side to get a nice deep score line, I find. So that works really well for me, and I do it a couple of times to make sure that I've got that worked out well, which I do. And the other thing I want to do with all my pieces, but particularly this glimmer piece, is I want to go over it with a bone folder to make sure it's going to hold its shape well. Okay, all right, so now I've got my 3 pieces scored 2 inches from each end and 1 inch from each end on the shorter piece. All right, those 3 pieces are ready to go. I'm going to get rid of my trimmer, and I'm just going to introduce you to the different framelits that I'm using. These are the card front builder thinlet dies, which match the Carols of Christmas stamp set. So they're a bundle, they go together, and not everything matches in here. For example, these trees don't cut out anything in the stamp set, but they complement the set beautifully, which gives you a lot more scope for more scenes and different things that you can create with it. So I actually really like that. Then I'm also using today the labels, lots of labels framelits, which are these shapes. There's 7 of them, yep, in the bundle here in this set. And I'm going to be using 2 of the largest ones. Okay, now on my original card, I didn't use the very largest one. Let me just double check that. Oh, hang on. Yes, I did. Just ignore what I just said then. I used the very largest one and then the next one down from that. So the 2 largest ones. I knew I used the second largest one, but I'd forgotten that I'd used the biggest. You could go with slightly smaller ones if you thought this gap here is too big. Okay, but I used those 2 on mine, and it gave me this amount of space around. If you want more space around your window on the front, then you might use the next one down and the one below that, but you're going to need 2. Okay, so just move that out of the way, and we'll put the rest of them away so I don't get confused, because that happens sometimes. And I'm actually going to bring my big shot in. Oh, before I bring my big shot in, I'm going to do what I told you I was going to do, and I am going to fold these score lines. I'm going to reach for my bone folder. Just give me 1 second while I do that. There it is. And I'm just going to make sure those folds are really crisp, and that will make a difference to how your card sits at the end. Okay, so make sure that you give them a good old push down. And same with the glimmer one, and you want to fold it towards itself there. You can hear the sandpapery noise it makes when I try and score over it, but that's as it should be. All right, so those ones go like this. Now, I want to explain a difference between this one and this one. On this one, if I was doing this for a class, I wouldn't use full pieces of glimmer paper. It just makes way too expensive to do them if you're doing a bulk number of cards, if you're doing a lot of cards, or if you're preparing for a class. So in the case of this one, I use a second piece of soft suede as my middle piece, and I just cut a frame from these 2 large labels dies. And by the way, you don't have to use label dies. Any nesting dies will work. You could use circles or ovals or whatever you wanted, so it doesn't have to be these labels. I just really like the pretty shape of them. I think they look good, but you don't have to use those. Okay, so in the case of today, I'm not actually cutting a frame. I'm doing the whole piece, and the reason I'm doing this is because I've got these little stars across the top here, and I thought it would be really nice to have this behind so that you could see the glimmer through the little holes for the stars and the moon. Okay, that's the reason I'm doing that, but you can go either way. You can do a little frame, or you can do a full piece of glimmer. That's completely up to you. Right, so enter our big shot. Now the only problem with my Big Shot on this table with my photo setup or my video setup is that I end up getting a bit of wobbling happen when I do this. So I'm putting the top piece in, and one really good thing about having your piece already folded is it makes it really easy to see where you need to line this up, because you want it to be right in the middle. So I want this to be the same distance from this end and the opposite end. Okay, so I want to make sure, if you have a magnetic plate, feel free to use that, because that will help you stay in the center better. And I do have one, but I was just too lazy to get it. I'm just going to pop that through there, make sure it doesn't move at all. And I'm in the habit of putting my Big Shot things through once, and then I bring them back. I hope I wound that far enough through actually. Let's see. Yep, I did. Right. Now if you're really clever, you could do both at once, but I like to do it this way. So I like to line up my score lines. Let me show you. The score lines are lined up here and here. You could even put a little glue dot or something behind that if you wanted to make sure that it stays where it's meant to be. Open it back out again, and now it's lined up. Okay, and then I want the smaller one, so not the big one I just used before. I used the biggest one first. Now I'm using the next size down to create the next window, because I want some of that window showing. So I'm just going to pop that through. You'll feel a little bit more pressure. Actually, I could have taken the blue one off. I should have taken the blue one off, but it doesn't really matter. Let me go back again, because that adds extra pressure. So it's a little bit firm to push through. So yeah, I really probably should have taken this off first, but it won't make any difference to the finished result. Okay, now while I've still got the Big Shot here, I just want to talk to you really, really quickly about the stars that you see here, these ones. Okay, this is completely optional. You don't have to do this, and I have them here. This is what they look like. However, they don't go all the way along my card, so I have to be a little bit careful how I do this. I wanted the moon, but I only wanted one moon, and if I move this again, I'm going to end up with two. So a couple of little tips when you're doing the stars. First of all, make sure the edge of the thinlet goes off the edge of the card, because if it doesn't, it leaves a mark on that edge, and I think it's a smart thing to just have the edge moved along. So I'm just going to put that through and back. Now you have to be a little bit careful with the next one, so you can see the edge of it is done. Now I'm going to do, which way will I go? I'm going to put it here, so you can see I don't want to go as far up as where the moon is, because I only want to go to where it is. So I just have to partly push it through. So I'll go a little bit through, and then I'm going to stop and go back, because I don't want too many, and that's just right. Okay, so you can see it cuts little. So this is an optional thing. You don't have to do this, but you certainly can. So now I have my two windows that fit one inside the other, and they're ready to go. I'm going to get rid of my Big Shot for a moment. I will bring it back in a minute. Now, I've already, just to save time, gone ahead and cut out some trees, and I did, from my framelits, I used 2 of the double trees and 2 of the single trees. So I've gone ahead and done those already. And I want to do the background now. So I've got my last piece, my backing piece, and you can see that this one's going to go with this piece inside here. This will be the very back, and this is where the scene is going to be. So what I need to do is I need to brayer this. Now, I know some of you have seen Brayers before. I've got a clean one here ready to go, and I've got a navy one that I've already used before. I'm using the Soft Sky ink just to get a little bit of colour on before I move up to the next colour. Always start with the lightest colour first, and you go around and round in one direction to completely coat your sponge. like that. And then don't worry about going up onto the sides because they're going to be hidden. I'm going to start here on one side and I'm just going to come down, not as far as the bottom. I don't need to go too far. Where I don't go, it'll be left white and it makes it kind of look like snow. I've done this on a couple of cards too, just normal card fronts, and that looks it looks great actually. You make it a little bit of shade. It'll be darker towards the top because that's where we started and that's what we want, and it'll be lighter towards the bottom. Hopefully you can start to see the colour coming out. Sponge brayers are really, really easy to use, but if you don't like them, you could just use regular sponging. It takes a bit more time and you don't get as even a result, but brayering actually gives you a great result really, really quickly. And then I'm going to go to my darker colour, which is the Night of Navy, because I want it to be a night sky. So I'm going to go around and round in the same direction with my sponge brayer again. Start at the top again, and I'm going to start layering colour over. I'm not going to go quite down as far this time as I did before. One more time to get it darker at the top, and this time I'll go even less far down because I just want that top bit to get a bit darker. Okay, so you're getting the idea. So it's darker at the top and lighter here at the bottom, and that's exactly what I want. So you should be able to see that on the original as well. Okay, the scene is really easy to create. Doesn't really matter if you put your trees to the right or to the left, but what is important is you want them to be seen inside the windows. So if I just pop this over the top so I can kind of get an idea, yep, I can see those trees okay through the window. I might want to bring them down a tiny bit more. And you can either attach them with dimensionals or snail or whatever you like. I'm going to pop them here. And I'm not going to go quite to the top of the tree, and I'll show you why. So I just want to give you a bit of an idea. Okay, so you start to get a feel for it here, and I've decided that I'd also like, just out of a piece of white paper that I've got left over from when I cut up my white card before, I'm going to create a little moon, and that's just going to be a 3/4 of an inch punch circle, and I'm just going to stick that behind here, and then I'm just going to add a bit more. Okay, so now I've got a little scene here and it's going to be visible through my window. So you can see how easy this really is. It's coming together very quickly, like so. All right, last thing I want to add is a deer. And in the stamp set, we have a cute little deer. In fact, I made 2 of them on my original card, and I will do that again now. I'm using the lighter colour of ink this time. I used the darker colour, or I used one dark and one light on my other card, but I'm just going to go, this is Smoky Slate, I think. Yes, Smoky Slate. And I'm going to stamp my little deer here. Isn't he cute? And again. And then I'm going to quickly, you could cut him out by hand I suppose, but why would you do that when you have a die to do that for you? Here it is, like so. I'm just going to pop that through my Big Shot, and I'm going to do that. I'm not even going to bring the Big Shot back into the picture because it'll just be quicker if I do it right here. There he is. I love it when you can cut things out that fast. You can't do that by hand. Up to you if you want to glue this on, but I think one of the best things we have in our new annual catalogue are these mini dimensionals. Have you seen them yet? Oh my goodness. So here's your normal size dimensionals. You can see how big those are. Okay, and these are the minis. Aren't they great? I just think they are fantastic. You no more chopping up dimensionals to make them fit under stuff. Instead, you can just put 2 of those behind your little deer here, and he's going to sit on just fine. So I'm going to pop him next to a tree because he's sitting out there in the moonlight. Okay, now we get to put it all together. All right, now there's not a lot that sticks to glimmer paper. Glimmer paper is one of those things that can be hard to adhere. However, glue dots are fabulous for that, and that's going to go in here, and these pieces are going to go like that. And then this one, where is it? Where is our big piece? This one here is going to go right around the whole lot. So you can put glue on the outside here. I'll put 2 or 3 glue dots on the inside there to hold that piece in. And then this piece goes on the outside like that. Can you see how that comes together? I also ended up putting on a couple more trees over here and another tree here just to make it look really pretty. And then also, I haven't chopped him out yet, but another deer, which I thought would look really nice, maybe sitting over here near this tree. There you go, gives you a bit of an idea, and that's how it's going to look when it's done. So this is a lighter coloured one with this dazzling diamonds than this one, which has got the silver. I like them both. I think I might like the silver better, but I like them both. And I wonder which one you like. I hope you enjoyed doing that. It's very, very easy. If you have any questions about it, please ask. And of course, head on over to my blog and my online store if you'd like to purchase this fantastic bundle. And enjoy. It's available coming tomorrow, 1st of August. Have a great day, guys. Thanks.